Hello, welcome back to TCG fans. Okay, now what we have going here is redo and some upgrading of some older characters of my own, which I have gotten to be able to play these in some mock games, and they are very fun. I had to do a few tweaks, a few adjustments since after playing them, and let me tell you, these guys are actually pretty fun, and you're going to recognize them because they come all the way back from 1987. We get Clamort, Cramash, and Cross-Eyed. My three Demacons that combine into Cronus. New artwork. Of course, I steal backgrounds from the old shows, and most of these are from Beast Machines for Cybertron, so it's dark. Blah blah blah. And they're mostly all orange characters, and when they combine into Cronus, they're supposed to be mostly orange, but Cronus now looks a little fleshy or tan or something, but he still has a good bit of orange in there. So okay. Last video I tried doing this, I went 25 minutes long. That is way too long. I want to get this knocked down. I got to get back to work. So let's get into this. We have Clamort, Cramash, and Cross-Eyed. Originally they were a 19-star character. When combined, they had like 6 attack, 6 pierce. I didn't know what I was doing 2 years ago. So this is a lot tighter character. About the same way they kind of combine. There is no enigma here because there's only 3 characters, so there's going to be some sort of neat way to get them, and it's very Dreadwing-ish, but like Dreadwing, Sky Tread, a little going in here, but you're not having to give up your hand or anything crazy like that. So let's get into this. Let's just start with all of them, and let's look. Well, okay, so Clamort stats are 3, 12, and 0 in alt mode, 4, 12, and 1 in bot mode. Cramash is 12, 13, and 0 in alt mode, 4, 13, and 2 in bot mode. He is a 9-star character. He's also the leader. He's the only one with the leader trait because you can only have 3 traits per side. When you're doing like these combined looks here, I couldn't get 4. So he's the only one with missing the Demacon trait in his alt mode because he's a leader, he's a beast, and he's melee in alt mode. The rest all have this new little Demacon trait that I created and was able to get on here back from 1987. And if you notice this trait, I actually put it on all of them. The original symbol looks closer to what is on the chest of Clamort's bot mode. The newer symbol is, and of course this is not all inconsistent, which is just goes right in line with the G1 stuff that was going on back then. That was the inspiration from season 3 and introduction of the Quintessons as a new enemy, even though they were just pretty much a joke by season 3 anyway, compared to the movie. It's on Cramash's sort of lower body in alt mode. They're floating. These guys float in alt mode like Quintessons, but they have legs in bot mode. Cross-Eyed has legs in both modes. He does not float. So Cramash being the leader, he's 9 stars. The other 2 are 8. They're now a 25-star character, and they're going to create a 25-star character. Cramash's bot mode has the most defense of 2. Their defense is pretty low. There's a reason for that as well. Cross-Eyed is 3, 12, and 0, 3, 12, and 0 in both modes. They're all melee characters. They are all melee characters. Clamort has like a claw thing for one of his hands, so you kind of know which side. It's basically, flip the character, kind of like he's an Autobot on one side and a Decepticon on the other, that kind of character. So that's what these guys are kind of going for in a way. And these are never been toys, and they will never be toys. And I just sort of came up with these on my own back in 1987, a long time ago in a spring called Jusenkyo. No. So Cross-Eyed is 8-star, Demacon Beast in melee, Demacon and melee. So all their alt modes have the beast trait because they're very bestial looking. Because when they combine, Cronus is a beast. Okay, so when you flip to this mode, and each of them have this, you get to do 1 non-attack damage to a character. Except Quintessons were a third party. they hate in the season 3. We learned they were the supposed creators of the Transformers for Cybertron, not Primus, Cybertron. So they hated both Autobots and Decepticons. So Clamort, when you flip to this mode, do one attack damage to a Decepticon. When Cramash flips to alt mode, when you flip to this mode, do 1 damage to an Autobot. When you flip to this mode, do 1 damage to an enemy. So cross-eyed, you're going to want to get some rapid conversions, some escape routes, some cards of getting them flipped to be able to getting some non-attack damage in. Flip for turn. A flip for turn, and then a flip from an action card or something along those lines. So let's start off with the leader, and let's look at their bot modes. Now, we've pretty much already done the introduction. We've gone over their alt modes, all their stats, and as well as kind of looking at this new little symbol, which looks more like like some sort of Egyptian or Hebrew character with its hands in praise holding up. It wasn't supposed to be that way. But that's kind of what it's supposed to look like, a face. Anyway. Cramash bot mode. 4-13-2, bold 1. Demacon leader in melee. Each Demacon has bold 1 until for battle. I think I changed that for battle instead of end of turn. So because all their defense is fairly low, you're going to want Cramash in this mode, which is going to give him a defensive 2, but it's also going to give him bold 2, unless I've changed it and altered it in my final to where he only gives bold 1 to the other Demacons, but I think he does it for all of them. In the meantime, Clamort in his bot mode, each Demacon has +1 to defense until end of turn, or for battle. Bold 1. Each Demacon has bold 1 until end of turn. So that's right. Each Demacon has +1 of defense for battle. If it says end of turn, what can I do? What can I say? It probably should just be for battle, because you're going to be on the defensive, and it's going to help give them all the ones with zeros a defense of at least 1. These guys seem to really work well with a bluer deck, like a black-blue deck. You might definitely want to throw some orange in there as well. Maybe a few blank cards for some extra attack. So let's look at Cross-Eyed and getting these guys combined. Let's see what happens. So Cross-Eyed, in his bot mode, he's 3-12-0 with Demacon and melee trait. They're all melee traits. He has Pierce 1. And then when you flip to this mode, and Cramash and Clamort are in the KO. So these two guys, which means, okay, their total health is 37. These two guys alone are 25 health, so you're going to be losing 25 health, and plus whatever health that Cross-Eyed has. Originally he had total stealth. It just says stealth here in alt mode, but I've changed it to where now it says he has stealth while untapped. So now your opponent can be able to get into Cross-Eyed when he is tapped, but you're probably going to want him to attack with him last, or something else. We'll look. I made a card for them, and we'll look at that in a second. So when you flip to this mode, well, we pretty much went over that. And Cramash and Clamort are in the KO. Combine this into Cronus the Destructor and repair 2. I have 3. I've changed it to 2. And Cronus begins untapped. So these two guys come up. He gets flipped over as well, and you combine them, repair 2. So instead of maybe having 12 health, maybe you might have 14 health left. It just all depends. 3 seemed a little too much, and being over a 15 star character, using the arcs, their card for heavy repair, which I think was 5, and KO the card, which that just seems too strong to me. That seems too strong. Maybe if it was a star card, that might be. Maybe it is a star card. I can't remember. I've got it printed out somewhere. And then Buddy has had one called Energon Boost. Energon Boost is like that. You know, it has to be a 19-star character or more in repair 3, and then KO that card. So that's also padding your KO if you're wanting to play with cards that are KO'd. I do it with just cards in the KO or your opponent's KO. You get more Pierce or Bold or Tough or whatever, depending on what's in your KO or what's in your opponent's KO. ATP calls it Energized. I finally learned that. I'm like, what is Energized? What is this? Well, they're just playing with cards in the KO. Which I've been, since I'm a little behind, but that's okay. So when Cronus is immediately combined, repair 2, he has an attack of 5, 37, and 2, defensive 2. This is what his max health is, but it's not going to be 37. It's going to be whatever minus his damage counters you're going to put on him. Okay, he looks great. He's updated. I like this and I don't like this. The artwork, I mean. But when you do combine him, the Demacon trait comes off. He's just melee and beast. He does have Pierce 3. I did give him Pierce 3. And he does have an extra upgrade slot. I think somebody else has an extra upgrade slot, and I can't remember who. So anyway, and then that's it. That's it. No Bold, no Tough, but he does have Pierce 3 and attack of 5. It's no longer attack of 6 and Pierce 6 for a night. That was just ridiculous. I didn't know what I was doing 2 years ago. 19 years ago. It's the year 2005. Anyway, Cronus the Destructor finally comes out. And he has a defensive ability, which is in reference to his tongue. If you go back and search for the video I did where I was going over the drawings from my old high school notebook from 1987, 88, or whenever it was back when season 3 was new and it was fresh and we didn't know what was going on from episode to episode. Some episodes were pretty good, some weren't, some looked great, some utilized the music from the movie. So there are a lot of different things going. So when this defends, draw 3 cards face down. 1, 2, 3. Reveal the middle card. If it's an action revealed, and it is, of course, like you would want to use it. I've just pulled out some cards for to draw. Do 1 damage to the attacker. If an upgrade is revealed, scrap an enemy upgrade. Then scrap the 3 cards. So when this defends, immediately triggers this. Okay? So he defends, flip 3, reveal the middle. It's an upgrade. You scrap one of their upgrades, you know? And then these get put in the scrap. All right, that's basically all it is, and it's supposed to be reminiscent of the tongue. It's either going to scrap an upgrade or it's going to attack them by 1. It's just not a little bit of non-attack damage going on there. Gives him 4. He has 4 upgrade slots. So if you have any upgrades on cross-eyed here, yeah, there we go. Cross-eyed. That's the only way you're going to be able to pull upgrades over onto Cronus. They have to be on cross-eyed, such as the new one called Surprise Spring. Surprise Spring can only go on. I keep flipping him the wrong way. There he goes. He sprung away. Can only go on cross-eyed. Because of that, it is a Quintesson faction card. And if you notice that, put on Cronus only, tap it. It's a tap ability upgrade from an armor card that has no armor, no defense. And that's the thing, is that, he's only going to have stealth when untapped. So if this is a tap ability, you need to find. And I ended up, when I was playing mock games, I didn't play this card very often because it's not that strong. It's very strategically not that great. It's very random, but it's a possibility of getting 3 attack damage on the enemy. So I don't know, say So say maybe your opponent happens to be tapped out, or they were playing a one tall, and you've already attacked with Clamort, and you've gotten a surprise spring on cross-side. You can tap him for turn, draw 3 cards on the battlefield. Your opponent chooses a card type, action, upgrade, or base. Yes, I even included base on here for my upcoming base cards. So they have to guess the card. If they say action and you flip an armor, it's wrong. If the choice is wrong, do 3 damage to an untapped enemy character. And that's another caveat. It has to be an untapped enemy character. If they are tapped out, that's not going to happen. So you might as well not even do that, obviously. So I didn't really get to utilize Surprise Spring very often in mock games, maybe once or twice. And, you know, when you're playing by yourself, you just, you know, flip for defense before you flip. Try to guess if it's action or upgrade for the most part. If you're wrong, you gotta, the person playing cross-eyed gets to choose which untapped character gets that non-attack damage, which is nice. It is 3, and then you can attack with the next character if they happen to be tapped out. But if they're 5 wide and you're 3 wide, you know, it's all going to depend on the flow of the game if you want to even use this or not. And since it's also a blank card with some nice, almost random 3 non-attack damage, you might only have 1 of these. I had maybe 2, and even then I barely played it. So it's not that strong of a card. It's a neat card. It goes with these guys. It only goes on Cronus. I mean on cross-eyed. And if you get them able to combine, and cross-eyed still has on the spring, the surprise spring, then it would actually get to go and come on with Cronus. And then you could play it and, you know, tap him and try to do that if you wanted to, but it's not that strong. It's not that great. I mean, it's nice at non-attack damage. There's no doubt about that, but it's, you know, kind of a Russian roulette kind of card that you may or may not want to have in the deck with him, but it's neat to have along with everything else in the deck. So what do you think? What say you? Here we go. We have Cramash, Clamort, and Cross-Eyed all redone. I think they look pretty good. The artwork for Cronus doesn't look half bad. He doesn't just have black eyes. It actually looks like he's got a visor in front of red eyes with cat eye slits, which is kind of cool in itself. Kind of a new look. We got a new Gestalt Combiner 3-in-1. It's a Quintesson even. And I will admit, I'm not being biased. This is a fun character to play. So I'll throw this in the Dropbox if you like what you see here. If you're liking how this might work, and they work pretty well together. Like I said, get some rapid conversions and some escape routes. Get some flipping going and some non-attack damage. Throw some scraplets at that like button if you like what you see here. Thanks for being here. Thanks for following, and thanks for listening. We'll catch you next time. Don't have just a great day. Have a blessed day. And as always, Autobots, flip out and let's roll for it.